Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies. Aristotle. Have you ever thought about what would happen if you just disappeared from someone's life? Not just stepping back, but completely vanishing. No calls, no texts, no trace. What would they truly feel when you're gone? In a world where it's easy for people to take others for granted, it's time to turn the tables. Vanishing, stepping away, may be the most powerful message you can send. Their world will fall apart. I want to take you on a journey into understanding the emotional weight of disappearing. If you've ever been in a situation where someone treated you like an option, well, this video is for you. It's about recognizing your true worth and understanding how sometimes walking away can be the ultimate form of self-respect. We're diving into a powerful concept today, what someone feels when you simply vanish from their life. We'll explore 9 intense emotional stages they'll go through when you disappear. By the end of this video, you'll understand why sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to walk away and never look back. If you're ready to discover your worth. If you're ready to make them regret ever taking you for granted, leave a comment below with the words, "I'm done being an option." Now here's the twist. The final stage, the 10th emotional stage, is a bonus one you won't want to miss. Trust me, it's the game changer. Now let's dive into this. Number 1. The sting of rejection. When a woman chooses another man over you, the initial sting of rejection is intense, but it's a moment that can open the door to personal growth and stoic happiness if approached with the right mindset. You may have never truly expected her to leave, not really. In your mind, you were always going to be there, the person who put in the effort, made the plans, and showed care. You were her rock, her constant companion, the one she could always rely on until one day you weren't. It's easy to take comfort in that sense of certainty, but life is ever-changing, and so are relationships. When she chooses someone else, it's a wake-up call, one that hits harder than you might anticipate. This isn't just about physical absence. It's the loss of everything you once represented, the safety, the validation, the emotional security you provided. In a split second, your presence in her life evaporates, and she's left feeling an overwhelming sense of loss. But let's be clear, this isn't about you losing her. This is about her losing you. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." What he meant was that true wealth lies in our ability to be content with what we have, but also to let go without clinging. Your decision to leave, to remove yourself from a situation where you were taken for granted, is a powerful expression of self-respect, not weakness. When you walk away, it forces her to face the fact that you're no longer a constant presence in her life. In relationships, people often treat others like safety nets. They take them for granted, assuming they'll always be there. That's why the sudden disappearance can have such a profound effect. It's a reality check. You've shown them that you will no longer tolerate being treated as a backup, as an option. Instead of being the person who is always available, you've removed yourself from their orbit. It's a sudden shock to the system, like pulling a rug out from under them. As much as they might want to pretend they didn't need you, deep down, they realize that they've lost someone who was essential to their emotional well-being. You may have been the one who held the relationship together, but when you're no longer present, they have to reckon with that loss. It's an ironic twist of fate. They might have thought they were doing you a favor by keeping you around, but the truth is, you've been the one doing the heavy lifting. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, teaches us to recognize that external events are beyond our control, but how we respond to them defines us. His wisdom tells us that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you walk away, it's not an act of revenge, but of reclaiming your own emotional sovereignty. You choose to protect your inner peace, and that is the essence of Stoic happiness. The sting of rejection isn't easy to endure, but it's a necessary step in breaking free from emotional dependence. The key is not to make a scene, to demand attention or explanations, or to try to negotiate your way back into their life. You must take the path of the modern Stoic, silently, calmly, and with dignity. Let them feel the loss without any warnings. Don't announce your departure. Don't make it about what you're leaving behind, and don't beg for attention. Just go. Let your absence speak louder than words ever could. This silence will force them to reflect, to analyze the relationship from a new perspective. Without you in their life, they're left to face the uncomfortable truth of how much they may have taken you for granted. It's not a punishment, it's simply the natural consequence of their actions. And when you disappear, you're not just saying goodbye to them, you're choosing to prioritize yourself. You're making it clear that you're done being disrespected, and that your time, your energy, and your love are worth far more than what they were offering. He who is brave is free, said Seneca, and in walking away you demonstrate true courage and freedom. The truth is, this rejection isn't the end. It's the beginning of something better, something more aligned with your true self. When you let go, you create space for new opportunities, new connections, and deeper personal growth. And here's the real victory. By stepping away, you show the world and yourself that your self-worth isn't tied to anyone else's approval or affection. You've learned the invaluable lesson of detachment, of holding your peace in the face of adversity. And that, my friend, is the essence of Stoic happiness. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where a woman chooses another man, or where you feel like you've been left behind, remember this: rejection is not something to fear or to mourn. It's a gift in disguise, a reminder that you are worthy of respect, of love, and of someone who truly values you for who you are. When you let go, you set yourself free to become the best version of yourself, unshackled from the past, ready to embrace the future. If you've been through something like this, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How did you handle rejection, and what lessons did you learn from it? Share your experience in the comments below, and let's have a conversation about how we can all grow stronger and more resilient in the face of life's challenges. Number 2. The void of missing you. In the grand design of life, there are moments that test our emotional resilience, moments when someone we care about may choose another path. In these moments, a true modern Stoic knows that letting go is not a sign of weakness, but a reflection of strength. As you face rejection, remember this: when she chooses another man, let her go, because in doing so, you are embracing the Stoic principle of controlling what you can and releasing what you cannot. The sting of rejection may cut deep, but it is only temporary. The real test begins when the void of missing you begins to settle in. You see, after the initial relief that might come from thinking they can move on, they will inevitably realize something profound. They miss you. You were never just another piece in their life. You were the one who gave it meaning. They convinced themselves that life would be just as fulfilling without you, that they could easily replace the energy you brought. But once you're gone, they begin to feel the emptiness. It's not a superficial absence. It's a deep, gnawing void that starts to consume them. They go through their day, their routines unchanged, but something feels fundamentally off. They realize they are missing the warmth you provided, the emotional stability you were. This is the painful truth of life. People often take for granted what they have until it is no longer there. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." When they had you, they assumed you were a constant. But when you leave, that constant vanishes, and they begin to see the true value you held. It's easy to get distracted with new people or throw oneself into work, hobbies, or other pursuits. But the void remains. It's not just a feeling they can shake off, no matter how hard they try to replace it. No matter how many distractions they embrace, they can never replace what you gave them. And here's the irony of life. When they had you, they didn't appreciate the little things, the conversations, the laughter, the way you made them feel understood. But in your absence, those are the moments they crave the most. The Stoic principle teaches us that we cannot control how others feel or what they choose to do. What we can control, however, is how we respond to these situations. And so, when you choose to walk away, do so with intention. Make your absence clear. Block them on social media, remove their access to you, and give them no means to casually check in. In doing so, you allow the void to grow, and with every attempt they make to reach out and find you, the reality of their loss becomes more apparent. Let them feel the absence of you fully. The deeper they go into that emptiness, the more they will understand what you truly brought to their life. People often don't value what they have until it is gone. This is a timeless truth. And in this, you are not losing, you are gaining. The more they experience the void, the more they will come to see your worth. You win not by chasing after them, but by understanding that the void they feel is the consequence of their own choices. Your true worth was never in being replaceable. It was in being the one who gave their life meaning. Let the void remind them of what they lost, and take pride in the fact that you have learned to let go, to move forward, and to embrace the stoic happiness that comes from self-control, emotional resilience, and a deep understanding of your own value. As you continue to move forward, remember the wise words of Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Let this principle guide you in the pursuit of a fulfilled life, one where your peace and happiness come from within, not from the approval or presence of others. Share your thoughts in the comments. How have you experienced this void, and how did you overcome it? Your insights may just help someone else on their journey. Number 3. Overwhelming curiosity. When a woman is trying to conceal her feelings for you, one of the most telling signs is overwhelming curiosity. As the modern Stoic knows, the mind craves what it cannot have. And when it comes to relationships, nothing ignites that primal urge more than the feeling of mystery. Picture this. You were once a known entity in her life, a part of her routine. But now, you've become a puzzle, and that is more unsettling than you might think. She's no longer able to access you, and curiosity seeps into her thoughts. The questions consume her. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? Every waking moment is filled with the need to know, the craving to uncover the pieces of your life. This is where the modern Stoic principle of emotional control becomes essential. You see, while she's spiraling, you maintain your composure. You understand that a man who controls his actions, his presence, and his social media isn't just a man of mystery. He's a man of power. And let's face it, power is magnetic. She'll be checking your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, every platform, looking for any hint of you, any scrap of information. But here's the truth. You've gone dark. No updates, no posts, no stories, and it drives her mad. She's caught in a whirlwind of curiosity that makes her question everything. In this moment, you hold the power. A king never begs a queen to stay, as the saying goes. This is your time to show her that you are the prize, not the other way around. The more you make her chase, the more she'll crave your presence. And while you're at it, remember this: pain is temporary. Power is forever. Comment below if you agree, because you control your mind, and in doing so, you control your destiny. Don't give in to the chase. You've already won. Keep your mystery. Keep your power. Number 4. Deep self-reflection. When someone you care about chooses another path, especially another man, it can feel like a personal defeat. But let's pause and reconsider this situation through the lens of a modern Stoic. The Stoic principle of detachment teaches us to accept things we cannot control, like the actions of others, with composure and strength. Now the real test begins for them. This is when self-reflection, which often doesn't happen until they've lost what they took for granted, begins to creep in. Days or weeks of pondering their own behavior lead them to question their decisions. Was I too distant? Did I push them away? These are the hard questions they'll wrestle with, because people don't like to admit when they've been wrong. It's human nature to avoid that kind of uncomfortable truth. Yet by your absence, you've forced them to face their mistakes head-on. Without you there to smooth things over, they are left alone with their thoughts. They replay every moment, revisiting the times they ignored you or dismissed your feelings. And when they realize how much they took you for granted, the regret sets in. The guilt builds as they wonder if they could go back. But as Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. It's too late to change the past, and they must sit with their guilt. So, what should you do during this phase? The answer is nothing. Don't reach out, don't try to explain yourself, and certainly don't rush to help them see the error of their ways. Let the lesson unfold naturally for them. Self-reflection is most powerful when it comes from within, and they need this time alone to truly understand the consequences of their actions. By embracing the Stoic principle of non-interference, you allow them to learn a crucial lesson in their own time and space. Trust that this process, though painful, is one they must go through to evolve. Remember, your own peace is found in releasing the need to control others' responses. Reflect on what you've learned and share your thoughts below. Number 5. The urge to pursue you. When you have spent enough time in self-reflection, something profound begins to shift within you. The questions and doubts you once had about yourself start to fade, replaced by a stronger, more grounded sense of who you are. And, inevitably, the tables turn. There was a time when you put in all the effort, cared the most, and relentlessly pursued someone. But now, it is their turn. They go from a place of indifference to one of desperation, realizing they might have lost something valuable. The urge to reconnect becomes overwhelming for them. They begin to reach out in any way they can, sending those "I've been thinking about you" texts or liking your old Instagram posts. They might comment on something you shared, hoping to spark a conversation, or send a late-night message after a few drinks, wondering if it's too late to rekindle what was lost. You see, the dynamic has shifted. Now they are the ones chasing you. They have moved from taking you for granted to desperately wanting you back. In this moment, you hold all the power. And here is the modern Stoic principle: you must do nothing. Resist the urge to respond. When you do, the power shifts back to them, and you risk losing the ground you've fought so hard to regain. Stay firm in your self-worth and let them do the chasing. Silence becomes your strongest tool. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By not giving in to their advances, you assert your independence and emotional strength. Let them experience the frustration of wanting something they can no longer have. This teaches them the value of what they once took for granted, and in the process, you win, not by forcing anything, but by embodying the Stoic principle of inner peace and self-reliance. Remember, you control your emotions, and in the face of their desire, your silence speaks volumes. So, stay strong. Allow them to chase, but let them do so in the realization that you've grown beyond the need for their validation. What do you think about this approach? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Number 6. The battle between relief and regret. When you first step away, they may feel a momentary sense of relief, as though they've found freedom. They might even say to themselves, "Finally, I don't have to deal with him anymore," and for a while, it may feel like a victory. But the truth about that freedom is simple. It's an illusion. The initial excitement is fleeting, a temporary rush. They might go out, hang with friends, or even date someone new, thinking this new chapter will bring the happiness they sought. But as soon as the distractions fade and they find themselves alone, sitting in silence, scrolling through their phone and staring at the emptiness, they'll realize the truth. The freedom they sought so desperately without you only reveals a deep sense of emptiness. The people they hoped could replace you will merely be surface-level distractions, fleeting and hollow. It's like drinking salt water when you're parched. It may seem to quench, but only leaves you thirstier, more desperate, and filled with regret. In the modern world of casual relationships and quick fixes, many believe moving on is as easy as finding someone new. But it's not that simple. They'll soon realize that no one can replace the emotional stability and connection you once offered. That's the painful awakening that will knock them to the ground. So, what should you do? Allow them to feel this temporary freedom. Don't rush back in. Don't comfort them. Don't alleviate their regret. Let them sit in the emptiness they thought would feel liberating. It's important to remember that their initial relief is short-lived. Your absence will haunt them in ways they never expected. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." By embracing the Stoic principle of letting go, you give them the space to realize the deeper truth of their own emptiness. This is your moment to show strength and wisdom. Share your thoughts with me in the comments. Have you ever been in a situation where letting go led to greater clarity and strength? Number 7. The desire to play the game. When regret begins to take root in someone's heart, panic sets in. They feel the desperate need to regain control, but they're lost, unsure of how to do it. So, what do? They start to play games. They intentionally distance themselves, aiming to provoke a reaction from you. They post pictures with others, hoping to convince you that they are thriving without you. Perhaps they even throw up a vague, attention-grabbing status about moving on, or a selfie that screams for validation. In reality, all of this is just a ploy to reel you back in, to make you question their intentions and what they might be doing. But here's where you win. You've moved beyond this game. You've outgrown the need for childish tricks. You no longer react to their manipulations because you've learned the power of detachment, a principle at the core of modern Stoic philosophy. In fact, when you stop chasing, you gain control. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and when your thoughts no longer revolve around their petty games, you free yourself. The moment you stop playing, their tactics lose their effect. They may try to provoke you further through passive-aggressive comments or exaggerated social media posts, but none of it matters. You won't engage. The power dynamic shifts in your favor. You've moved past the need for validation, and that drives them mad. The key here is not to react. Simply ignore their attempts. They'll soon realize that their manipulations no longer hold weight. And that, my friend, is where you win. Remember, you are in control of your peace. Share your thoughts below on how you've stopped playing these games in your own life. What's your strategy for holding on to your inner calm? Number 8. The crushing weight of silence. In modern relationships, silence is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. It's more than just the absence of words. It's the absence of presence, the disappearance of communication. In those moments when you choose silence, you force the other person to confront their own emotions and actions. They begin to reflect on every time they neglected your call, every moment they ignored your texts, every time they took you for granted. Silence becomes their torment, their reckoning. They can't understand why you're not chasing after them. It shakes their perception of control, the false belief that they could always have you around on their terms. As a modern Stoic, you understand the power of withholding your presence, of making them feel the weight of their own choices. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Silence allows them to face the discomfort of their decisions, and through that discomfort, they might finally see the truth of their actions. In a world where instant gratification rules, where constant communication is expected, silence feels like an unbearable punishment. But you, as a Stoic, remain unfazed. You control your mind. You control your destiny. And when you withhold, you show them the true value of your presence. It's not just about winning an argument. It's about showing them what life is like without you. Silence is not your weakness. It is your strength, your weapon. So when they start spiraling, questioning if they've lost you forever, remind yourself, you are the prize. A king never begs a queen to stay. Comment below. Pain is temporary. Power is forever. This is your moment to reclaim your power and let them realize losing access to you is worse than any argument. Number 9. The fear that brings them crawling back. When faced with a situation where someone you cared about chooses another, it's easy to feel like everything is falling apart. This moment of fear, however, is where the true power lies. The one who once believed they could take you for granted is now overcome with the terrifying thought of losing you forever. For a long time, they were comfortable, expecting that you would always be there, standing by them no matter what. But now, you've stepped away, and the fear of your absence hits them harder than anything they've ever felt. They can't help but think, what if they've truly moved on? What if someone else is making memories with them now? This fear consumes them, to the point where their ego and pride no longer matter. The thought of you laughing with someone else makes them sick, and they'll do anything to get you back. Reach out, apologize, beg for forgiveness, even show up at your door. But here's the Stoic principle you need to embrace. When they come back with fear in their eyes, don't let that fear be the reason you reconsider. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. By the time they feel this fear, you've already moved on. You've rediscovered your strength and independence. The modern Stoic knows that life doesn't wait for anyone, and true peace comes from the ability to let go. So don't be swayed by their desperate plea for another chance. Let them face the consequences of their actions. You are no longer someone to be taken for granted, and your peace is far too valuable to sacrifice for fear-driven decisions. Stand firm in your choice, and as you walk forward, remember that this is the moment you reclaim your power. Let us know in the comments how you've handled similar situations and what you've learned through them. The final lesson. Stop allowing people to treat you like an option. It's time to stop being the person who's always there, no matter how poorly you're treated. It's easy to think that your constant presence will make them appreciate you, but the truth is, the moment you choose to walk away, to take a step back, everything shifts. You regain control of your life. You hold the power now, and when you walk away, they will feel it. They will regret losing you, and they will come to understand that they let go of something irreplaceable. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By standing firm and embracing your worth, you're not only honoring yourself, but you're also applying a modern Stoic principle that true happiness comes from mastering your emotions and choosing your response, not from seeking validation or clinging to unhealthy relationships. Take a moment to reflect. If you're ready to regain your power and embrace this transformative path, comment below with, "I'm done being an option." Remember, you are the one who controls your destiny, and in this moment, you can decide to walk away from what no longer serves you, reclaiming the strength that comes with independence and self-respect.